You're going to grab this router. It's kind of a lighter blue. It says Makita on the side. I have this router permanently set up to do the technique we're trying to do, and that's just a cutter. It's called a flush trim bit to trim all of this extra out. Now, first, make sure that it's the right bit, but second, make sure it's sticking out the right amount. If I use it as it is, I'd cut way deeper than I should. I've only got about 1/8 of an inch right here to remove, so I don't need very much of the blade to stick out. So I just loosen this and pull it up until I see a little more than that 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch sticking out of the tip right there. Lock it back in. There's a little variation, but it's not nearly as much as it was before. Then go ahead and plug it in and you're ready to go. Take your top, flip it over, and then you're going to cut all the way around. Flush trim bit has little movable bearings on the tip, and that bearing will ride along the edge that the CNC put on and cut off all of the extra. So I hold it here and then put my hand here to hold it steady. Notice that I'm going over it multiple times. What I'm finding is that there's a lot of sawdust that gets packed into that groove, and the bearing will ride and kind of leave a jagged edge. So once you cut the first time and all these pieces fall off, then I'd run it a second to clean it up. And then the last thing I want to do on this is get rid of this sharp edge. I wanted a kind of a bigger round over than I did on the legs and the aprons and so forth. So I have a router and I have a 3/8 round over. Now I'll try to keep one of these in there, but guys, it's not necessarily going to be found in this particular router. These bits get changed out all the time from one class to another. So look at it. Does it look like a round over bit? Can you see it's got a bit of a curve there? And ask me if you're not sure. Next, look at your lid. Is this my best side? Because I had mine upside down when I was cutting. Okay, so this is my bad side. I see all the knots, little tear out here, and I don't want it. Make sure your best side is up. And again, this has a bearing on the tip, but we want to go opposite the rotation of the cutter. So most of the time, in this case with a router, it should be counterclockwise. We're going to start here and go in a counterclockwise direction. Push the bit against the wood. Take your time and don't wobble. If you're done and it looks like you missed a spot, go ahead and go over it again. Now I'm accustomed to doing this and knowing how to hold the pressure. You always want to keep it tight on this so it doesn't topple. If it helps to do one and then turn and then do another, then do that. But take your time so it looks really good. Last thing on this really is just sanding it off. Those routers tend to leave some jagged edges. Use your electric sanders and make it look good, nice and smooth. I would not use an electric on this round over spot. I would do that by hand. Electric sanders tend to leave a flat spot because they're flat and they sand quickly. So do the roundovers by hand, but all this, do this with an electric and on the edges and make it feel nice and smooth.
Now that I'm all done sanding it down, I sprayed it with air, and now I'm looking all around the edge of my board for gaps, and I found a few of them. You want to grab the wood putty. You want to grab the right kind that matches the inside color of your decorative rings. In my case, it's alder. I don't want to match the maple or walnut specifically. It's a lot easier to just grab the alder and work all the way around because it matches the inner ring. So pull out alder. In this case, if you have a different color ring, then make sure it matches the correct wood putty. Work all the way around and let it dry.